Is this progress that at least now, for the first time, Justice Alito is putting in writing and letting us know why he's not recusing?
It is progress that he felt obliged to make a statement. The failure of progress is that the statement was more or less entirely bogus and left out most of the story. His thesis was that when he gave this interview in the Wall Street Journal, it was just an ordinary interview. There was nothing out of the ordinary, to use his words, about it. What he left out was that he's the recipient of a huge undisclosed gift of jet travel by a billionaire named Singer. The Judiciary Committee is investigating that jet travel. It was organized, and he was accompanied on the trip by that same guy, Leonard Leo, who we talked about earlier. We are asking questions of Leonard Leo. Leonard Leo hired a lawyer to represent him and oppose our investigation so that we don't get any information about the Leo and Alito travel and gifts. That's the lawyer who conducted the interview. And in the interview, Alito buttressed up the case that the lawyer was making for why his client and Alito's friend didn't have to disclose anything about those trips. So that's a much bigger story than I just had an interview. He had an interview with a lawyer who was involved in a particular dispute against me, actually, and used Alito to prop up his argument in that dispute, apparently with Alito's full knowledge. And at the end of the day, with Alito as the beneficiary of the scheme, because it's his free travel that would be left undisclosed to our investigation.
Yeah, and the ways in which his recusal message distorts his accusations about other members of the court who've never done anything like what we're talking about in his case.
Yeah, and I think this is just a particularly bad case because, you know, the core principle, the basic foundation of due process, the principle of which the Supreme Court is supposed to be our highest exemplar, is that you do fair fact-finding. And here he is writing this skinny little 10% of the facts version of what went on and leaving out what old Paul Harvey would call the whole rest of the story, which is the meaningful part of the story. This was the most not ordinary interview of a Supreme Court justice ever. And the backstory is what he left out deliberately.
So, but we do have a step up here from silence, which is the previous method for these kinds of justices when it came to recusal, just absolute silence.
Yep, that is true. And I hope that we can improve on the description that Alito gave of this interview by the court or the judicial conference taking my complaint about this seriously so that they provide some way to get to the bottom of what the facts actually are and we get some real due process around this.